Andrew Wilson stuns the woke TikTok panel in a fiery debate that exposes how progressive movements are often co opted or funded by powerful NGOs and big money interests. So basically, in this big, intense back and forth, Andrew Wilson is exposing how these so-called grassroots movements for progressives are not really grassroots movements, and they're basically where he challenges the claims about grassroots activism, calling out inconsistencies while defending conservative populism and referencing other movements. Now, this debates heats up as Andrew Wilson dismantles the arguments about left-leaning organizations. Okay, so here is Andrew Wilson just basically with his sharp, calm, and being direct throughout the whole entire exchange, stunning the woke TikTok panel in this fiery debate. If you enjoy sharing this video, smash the like button. Let's go ahead and get right into it.
Okay, good. Anyway, I think that they mostly fail because none of them are actually grassroots. Most all progressive movements are started by NGOs. Very, very few of them are grassroots, if any, and that's why there's no united message, because none of it's actually grassroots at all.
Is there any grassroots organizations you can think of, Andrew?
I think that the populism behind the Trump phenomenon is the closest thing I've seen to something grassroots in my life, other than the Tea Party, which I think started that way and then got stolen from them, essentially.
I mean, obviously, the Bernie Sanders movement was way more grassroots, considering the amount of small dollar donations that they got and the way larger amount of the way larger their ground game operation was.
I agree.
The Tea Party operation was completely funded by billionaires, by libertarian billionaires.
Not at first. You are right hang on. Let me make my case.
When what's his name?
I know that I haven't even hardly said anything. Let me just make the case here. So I agree with you that the Sanders thing was likely even more grassroots than what Donald Trump was, and what the Tea Party became. The thing is, though, that's interesting is I'm talking about national movements, which I don't think Sanders, while that was kind of a neat little thing, it was more like the Ron Paul phenomenon, which never really caught as much steam as people had hoped.
I mean, the Sanders wing of the Democratic Party is the fastest growing. Zoran Mamdani got more.
So is the Libertarian Party with Ron Paul. It was the same thing. Zoran
Mamdani got more votes in a mayoral primary than any person in the history of the United States.
So what?
Right?
So what?
So it's growing. So
so was the Ron Paul movement. Doesn't matter. The national movements that get all the eyeballs on them, those ones are basically co-opted.
Grassroots. Those are not grassroots movements. Donald Trump won with the help of $280 billion or $1 million from Elon Musk, right? Like, we're not talking about grassroots organizations.
Wait, in which?
Okay, so with this dude who's liberal on TikTok and stuff, he doesn't understand that, not only understand that even like on a national level, the Bernie Sanders movements and stuff and the rallies were funded by NGOs, okay? And the fact of the matter is that even though like the guy from the New York mayoral race and stuff, who's a socialist candidate up there in New York, I mean, the actual mainline Democrat Party is not going to care about them. They're not going to go ahead and submit to them. They're actually distancing themselves further away from them. Okay, that's the thing that this is the very thing that people like him don't actually understand. Heck, it's the same thing that happened on the right with the libertarian movement and everything. The Republicans are ignoring them. They don't care about them and stuff. I mean, it's just the process and stuff. That's same process happened in both different parties. Whenever there's like any kind of grassroots movement out there, an actual grassroots movement, they're being ignored. Why? Because of the fact of the matter is that the higher ups in these establishment political parties and stuff, whether it's Republican or even Democrat, they're going to ignore them. They want somebody who's going to put their agenda out there and stuff even further. But the thing is that they don't understand, they don't understand that it's going to continue happening, where the Democratic Party is not going to care about their particular movement or their causes.
The largest grassroots organization in the United States is the left-leaning movement that's more or less tied to the Democratic Socialists.
Yeah,
of
but
America.
I don't even need to disagree with this. It just makes my point. Even if it's the case that that Sanders has a grassroots movement, just like Ron Paul did. I don't know if you remember the Ron Paul movement. That was another big one.
But you listed the
It
two
ultimately,
largest
it ultimately
movements.
doesn't matter because the national movements inside of the national parties are completely co-opted by NGOs. So any of these supposed, hang on, stop, bro. Let me make the point, then respond to the
But
point.
you're going back on what you said.
No,
about
I'm
Trump.
not going back on anything. Can I make the point or not? So anyway, the point here is like, look, almost every single movement I've ever seen from progressives is completely co-opted and funded by NGOs, everything from gay rights on down. Basically all of it.
You started this by saying that the two largest grassroots movements were the Tea Party and the Trump movement.
Yeah, I was
but
talking
then
from the
just
right-wing
now,
side, bro, from the right-wing side. I was
you
just
said
pointing
in
that
the
out.
countries, right? And now you said that neither of those are actually grassroots movements, right?
No, I think
So
both
I
of them
don't
started
really
as
know the
grassroots
relevance-
movements.
So I don't really know the relevance of bringing either of those up.
It's because you're just straw manning, bro. What I said to you specifically
that
was
they
simple. I literally conceded your point that Sanders was also a grassroots movement. I'm just pointing out that when you're talking about these things, the early part of the Tea Party, I remember going when the Tea Party was first forming. It did start grassroots, and it was co-opted very quickly. But it did start that way. Well, it got co-opted by the Koch brothers. It got co-opted by, major news networks. There was Republican operatives who started getting in on it. I mean, even Rush Limbaugh at the time was all over it. Michael Savage was all over it. They started to make it into what it wasn't. There was one point where kind of the Occupy Wall Street people and the right wing had a similar message, just at different points in time.
I mean, like,
what needs to happen, Andrew? What needs to change so that there are more grassroots organizations, progressive organizations?
You need to eliminate NGOs from participating in government operations, essentially.
what NGOs are doing that?
All of it. Well, I mean, almost everything which is a government bill, it has an NGO behind, non-government organization writing it, proposing it, putting it up to frontmen, congressmen, almost all of them.
Can I just chime in real quick?
Hold on.
You want specific names of NGOs? I can give you them too, sure.
You're saying that you're getting cut off. You're whining about getting cut off. You don't even let me ask the question.
Ask the question.
My question is, what grassroots organization right now is being co-opted? Political organization is being co-opted by NGOs, or what? Like in recent,
I actually can't think of any that aren't co-opted by NGOs.
Like what? Like what? What grassroots?
Well, okay, so like the most recent, yeah. So remember these most recent protests which were happening, the anti-ICE raids. Yeah, that was not organic at all. There was tons of NGOs behind organizing this massive day of rage. Would you like for me to read all of them to you?
What massive day of?
So they started the protests. Yeah, they started the protest.
No Kings protests.
What?
The No Kings protests?
Yeah, that was all funded by NGOs. Yep.
Yes, that was.
In fact, that was a single day of protest. That's not.
That was even funded by
that whole thing, which may have started grassroots, got co-opted by NGOs. Doofus.
No.
Yes. And they killed it. By the way, they destroyed it. By the way.
Wait, why am I getting?
No. They didn't destroy anything.
Yeah, they did.
The No Kings rally was very successful, and just because it was organized by the left doesn't mean it's co-opted, Andrew.
It was co-opted by NGOs because it was never organic to begin with.
You keep saying NGOs.
Do you want me to give you the names of all the NGOs?
Okay,
I'll do
Andrew,
it.
You keep saying
No,
NGOs.
Andrew is
but
right.
That doesn't...
The banks were even funding that.
The banks? No, they weren't.
You can't even win with these people. Andrew Wilson just gave them facts and stuff. Andrew Wilson even conceded an agreement with them on these things, and they still won't accept it. Okay, so yes, as Andrew Wilson has stated, they were definitely funded by NGOs. Okay, so the fact that even though it's just one day of protests and stuff, it wasn't necessarily successful because of the fact that the raids were still continuing. Okay, and there's the only reason they did it was just go ahead and try to stop these raids. But the thing is, these raids actually continued. Okay, so it doesn't matter, like if it was funded by NGOs or wasn't, but either way, it wasn't really successful. Okay, and the fact of the matter is, of course, the host of this particular debate doesn't want to accept that because of the fact that, I mean, they definitely biased and refuses to actually acknowledge actual facts. Okay, so the fact of the matter is that it wasn't really successful because after that it continued, and they did definitely shut that down and stuff because of the fact they got to mobilize into different, plans and stuff because that particular day of protest or day of rage, as they called it, was not really successful at all.
Thanks. They're not giving to the left. That's ridiculous. They're giving to the right. They're giving to Cuomo. Andrew, why do you hate progressive movements? I guess is my question.
Well, I don't even understand what the point of the question is. I'm trying to explain to you why I think that they don't stay united.
You understand perfectly, Andrew. You understand perfectly.
No, I don't, because what's the prompt? What's the prompt? What's the prompt?
Why are you trying to undermine progressive movements?
Yeah, but why does that?
What is the point of that?
What are
you trying to do? What do you actually say?
All right, let me know when I can speak.
You've been speaking for the last 10 minutes, dude. Now you're doing crybaby act.
No, I just said let me know when you're done with the question so I can respond to it.
Guys, Andrew, I love you. You're my idol.
Is this the olive jar guy?
Anyway.
Are you that guy?
See? What Andrew is saying is that because he's saying NGOs. He's saying that doesn't mean anything. It's just a label he's putting on progressive organizations that he doesn't agree with. He's saying like they're illegitimate, as if.
No, I'm just saying that they're non-government organizations. They're NGOs. That's what that means.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, but are they NGOs?
There's nothing wrong.
Yeah,
with that
but are they NGOs though?
What does it matter?
Yeah, but are they? Yeah, can you just say they are NGOs, Andrew? Can you just say that? Can you be intellectually honest enough to just say, Andrew, they're NGOs, or are you going to be a sissy?
Boy Scout. Is any organization?
Are you gonna? Are they NGOs or not, dude? Answer the question.
So, and any organization with more than one person.
Why won't you answer my question?
You mutually lose.
Okay. So any organization.
Answer the question, bro.
Andrew. Any organization would be a non-government organization.
Uh-huh.
That's the point.
So are they non-government organizations or not, dude?
So the Tea Party would be an NGO.
Okay, so are they non-government organizations or not, dude?
Why are you so triggered?
Why won't this guy just answer the question? Why won't you answer the question?
I don't know.
So triggered.
Andrew's making a really good point. You guys are just
Refuses to answer the question. You're such a coward. Just answer the question, dude.
Why are you so triggered? You
Just say yes, they're NGOs. Just say, Andrew, yes, they're NGOs. Just say it.
He's not hostile. He's just passionate.
Just say it, bro. Just say yes, they're NGOs. Say it.
Wait. What's the point? What's the point?
You can easily tell that he's trying to look this stuff up. You can hear the keys of the keyboard just clicking and clacking and all that in the background where he's trying to look up some information. Just go ahead and clear his points to try to beat Andrew right now, because simple fact of the matter, he doesn't really have an argument to stand on. Okay, and it's just the fact of the matter is, yes, these are NGOs. Not only are they biased and stuff, but Andrew doesn't hate them because of the fact that they're progressive movements. Matter of fact, he doesn't even care about them. These particular movements just clearly go ahead and try to put out the narrative while trying to cancel out what the actual national narrative has always been since the establishment of this country. Problem is, they just don't like it. And this guy, they actually revealed his face up here, and he definitely does prove to me exactly how I thought he looked. Basically looked like a man still living in his mom's basement.
Of you actually telling the truth? That would be the point.
What is the point of what you're asking?
Okay, well, let's start with this. Can you be intellectually honest enough to tell me that most of these organizations have massive funding and organization from NGOs, right?
I don't know.
You don't know. Now you don't know. Now you're unsure.
Andrew,
What was the
You're so intellectually dishonest, dude.
Andrew, I love you. My dad loves you.
What
as
was
well.
the massive funding of the No Kings Day? What was the massive funding?
Yeah, so that was funding through organization.
God damn, 10K stars. Jeez. That's
All right, dude. Relax.
Anyway, the point is, like,
please adopt me?
we're focusing on just something that doesn't even really matter.
I mean, I think
why
it
we got on
matters.
this.
I think it matters.
Why? You need to understand. You need to tell me why.
Yeah, because I think that when you're talking about the idea of being united, and this would apply to the right too. It's not just a critique of the left, but when you're asking why do progressive,
It's not a critique. It's not. You're not critiquing anything. You're just saying things.
No, I'm giving a critique. Do you know what a critique
No, you're
is?
not. No, you're not.
Oh, I'm not.
No, there's nothing critically bad about an NGO, Andrew. You're just trying to use it as like a buzzword.
I
You're
see.
just buzzwording.
I see. Oh,
Andrew,
I
you're
see.
So please, please go on. Tell us what.
Yeah.
Why do you,
So anyway, this would be a
what does this matter?
critique.
What
so,
does this matter?
Yeah, so this would be a critique of the left
It's not
and
a
the
critique.
right.
It's not.
How do
it's
you
not
know
a
if I
critique.
can't even speak?
Because it's not a critique.
How do
Every
you know?
organization is
I'm literally
every
about to give a
organization-
criticism, and you won't shut up long enough for me to do it.
Every organization is an NGO, because unless
You
it's
mutually
funded by the
lose,
unless it's funded by the government, then it's an NGO, right?
So you're saying that the
Andrew?
Democrat Party is funded by NGOs?
The Republican Party would be funded by NGOs.
So yes or no, the Democrat Party is
What does
funded
it
by
matter?
NGOs.
And what does it matter?
Can you just answer the question?
You need to answer my question.
You want after you answer mine, I'll answer yours.
No.
No,
Andrew.
no, I know you won't. You're
No.
such a wuss,
No.
dude.
No.
What a wuss.
Anyway.
Like
Anyway,
it's just like
You're
the
such
bizarre,
a
like,
coward.
The bizarre like
Okay, so that's interesting because these progressive NGOs, they're funded by different sources. These include wealthy individuals and their family foundations, and even corporate donors and even government grants. I'm wondering which part of, the government. And these grants come from both the domestic and international, okay? And then just like also, it's funny because he doesn't want to admit and stuff. Okay, so be like different transparency trackers like Open Secrets, Influence Watch, and they report from outlets across the political spectrum and stuff. And it's also basically to note that it has different groups like the ACLU, Greenpeace, Amnesty International, Planned Parenthood, and other advocacy outfits and stuff. While some funding is actually transparent, like tax filings or voluntary disclosures, and basically including dark money channels where donors remain anonymous and people, just see that, this allows, undue influence without any accountability, while the progressive views and stuff often frame it as necessary to counter, the different conservative funding networks and stuff. So these NGOs are funded by billionaires like George Soros, of course. And then there's also Hans-Jörg Wyss, a Swiss billionaire, and stuff. I don't even know if I pronounced his last name right. And then there's also other donors like Tom Steyer, Pierre Amidyar, and like other people and stuff. So yeah, these different NGOs are funded by people like billionaires like George Soros. This dude just doesn't want to admit it. We all knew that already. Okay.
Just answer the question. Stop being such a wuss, dude.
he came on here, was quiet for
It's
like 20 minutes, and then just like cried and tried to insult everybody.
Who did I try to
think-
insult?
I
I literally haven't
You called
insulted
him a
anybody,
wuss.
doofus.
You just called him a wuss. Like that's obviously
He is
an
being a
insult.
wuss, bro.
Right. So that's an insult. So
Yeah, that's not
like,
everybody, is it?
Anyway.
You called me a.
That's
like,
because you started that. Shut up, bro. You started that. Give me a
Okay,
break.
Anyways, getting back to
Getting back to it now that you just got owned, just like the
I
host
know,
did.
there's no
Yeah.
point. There's no
How
point.
did I get
there's
owned?
no
I
point
didn't get owned.
in saying that
Hey,
they're
hey, I
NGOs.
got a
any
But they are NGOs, right?
Andrew Wilson, I got a question for you.
Well, how does that make them not grassroots?
Yeah, I
How
just
can
want
an
a
NGO not be
confirmation
grassroots?
that they're NGOs so we can still have the convo.
Who would you say, be honest, who would you say practices better in-group accountability, the left or the right? Who holds themselves to the higher
It depends on the issue. Some issues the left does much better, some the right does much better.
Okay. It depends on
The
the
right
issue.
wing
Give
does not hold itself
examples.
accountable
Give
at all.
examples.
Oh,
Yeah,
now, okay. As soon as you answer my question, I'll give you an example.
Give it. Give.
As soon as you answer my question.
Well, you guys
The
are
right
seeing that. We're
wing-
seeing the infighting. We're seeing the infighting play out right now with the.
I don't know if this
Epstein
is
file.
even. Yeah, there
is
you go.
not
That's an
infighting.
example. That's a good example. That's a good
Yeah.
example.
This fool can't open olive jars. He comes on.
And you children, bro.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's
That
real
one
creative.
woman-
And now thousands of
Real
people know
creative
that.
guy.
Now thousands of people know that you diddle children.
There's 84 people.
Yeah, basically, they will never answer the questions asked by Andrew Wilson, and if they simply just answer the questions coming from Andrew Wilson, he'll basically definitely provide examples and stuff. I mean, it's that simple, but they don't want to do that because they're not going to have a leg to stand on in this debate. Okay, so yeah. Basically, Andrew Wilson has definitely owned the TikTok panel and stuff, and definitely stunned them and stuff when this fiery debate on this discussion about NGOs as well as the funding of these NGOs. So yeah, like I said, those King's Day protests and stuff, that was not successful. It was just symbolic, okay, but nothing was done to actually stop the plan that was actually being carried out. So let me know your thoughts on this in this fiery Andrew Wilson debate as he stunned the whole woke TikTok panel in this fiery debate. And I'll see you on the next one.